The physical and mental effort security agencies put in any nation is immeasurable as they ensure lives and properties stay safe and to avoid not to run off the mill during day-to-day activities. This, however, depends on the policies set out by the management of the security agencies that regulate the spirit of upbeat to duty. To this regard, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, has ordered the deployment of watertight security arrangements to cover all schools, hospitals, health workers, and critical national infrastructure across the country. To take this precaution, the IGP directed Assistant Inspectors General of Police and the 36 police commissioners in the Federation and the FCT to prioritize the use of intelligence gathering, particularly through traditional or local intelligence, to locate criminal hideouts and flush them out before they strike. The IG equally charged all officers and men to be on the offensive and take the fight against crime to the doorsteps of suspected criminal elements, including inside bushes and uncompleted buildings, but warned the officers and men of the Nigeria Police to be civil, professional, and humane in the course of their duties. The Inspector General of Police therefore reiterated his commitment to the protection of lives and property of well-meaning members of the public, urging Nigerians to cooperate with the police as many police operatives will be seen as strategic areas, roads, and communities in order to suppress the antiques and criminal activities of men of the underworld. On Nigeria Today, our focus is on the nationwide security alert ordered by the Inspector General of Police at the weekend. I am Lydia Odijochi. Welcome to the program. With me to discuss the nationwide security alert is retired AIG Wilson Nalegu. Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Good to have you once again. Also with me in the studio is a regular face, Dr. Sadiq Hassan Arivi, a security strategy expert. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me.
What a beautiful hat.
Thank you.
All right, let me start with the AIG. Now, from what is going on now, we can see that the police are taking certain steps to address the numerous security threats in the country. What are we really up against in Nigeria from all indications?
Well, it's a pleasure for me to be here. First of all, there is nobody, no Nigerian, nobody in this country that is not aware of the numerous security challenges. And the IG rightly tried to rejig the security arrangements of the Nigerian police force. And I want to see the IG trying to be proactive and more offensive than being defensive.
Yes.
I think that is very critical. Okay. Therefore, what I think, I want to see the IG directive in different direction. Okay. First of all, IG is being proactive. The IG is emphasizing the relationship between the police and the public, because without that symbiotic relationship, the information will be difficult for the force to come by. And then the IG went again and emphasized discipline. You must be civil. That because in every community, for guerrillas or banditry, kidnapping to succeed, the element, either the public is passive, or the bandits or the other criminal gangs have made inroads in those communities. Therefore, the IG is saying, look, you've got to cooperate with us, that we cannot do this alone. Even if we are backed by technology, that human intelligence is still very critical. Important. And that's what the IG is saying. And the IG, the other interesting aspect I look at is the area of discipline. If you have even been following developments in the force, some of these errant officers who have not conducted themselves very well, they are publicly shamed, dictated, and then dismissed from the force. So the IG is, I think the IG is trying to say, look, we need the public. But you cannot get the public by having indisciplined officers.
Of course.
And so in doing that, he said, look, because if the officers are well behaved, then they can connect better with the community. So I think he started from last week, and then coming to end this directive, he's not just saying bring information, traditional sources and other sources, but that it should be civil. That means it should be approachable. Let the public have confidence in you. Let the public have trust in you. Because if you don't have that, the situation you are going to have, nobody's going to tell you anything.
Exactly. That's true. Now, let me talk about this confidence. Like he's saying now. What other steps should the police take to build this confidence among Nigerians? Because trust is critical. It's very important.
Thank you for having me. I think IG permutations come at the right time. That's the essence. It's trying to use offensive capability of any forces, of any security agency who's had the responsibility of curbing crime. In building confidence, over time we've said it, that the manner police work all over the world is a noble, is a novel work. But the drivers of that institutions now depend on them. How did they carry out the work? Because without the civil populace, there's no way the police can get the actual intelligence and informations gathering they needed to carry out their job. But having said that, Nigeria police need to rethink of a new ideas how to build a confidence and trust, because nobody give you trust, you have to earn it. And how do you earn it? Is by being civil in terms of relating with the people that you needed to get information from. If I give a typical example, most citizens of the country today will tell you, if you go to police now and report a case, a suspect, you might end up becoming the suspect itself because of the manner the police handle it. Over time, it has given a gap within the people and the police, being the way our own police now handle the situations. So IG has made that statement. It is a good thing. But it is now to come up with a new method that can bring synergy within the populace and the service itself. By doing that, you could see they will now close the gap that are already not there before. So on that, you see that police will get the right informations they are looking for to carry out their job.
Thank you. Now, AIG, the situation we have right now has made some people, can I say, some kind of panic and fear, especially when you see all these security alerts, security alerts. For example, places you normally go to, you can't go there. You come home earlier just to be safe and all that. Now, I want to ask you, how did we get to this level of uncertainty and, of course, fear?
Well,
should we have fear?
Well, when you have crime going up, naturally, you could have fear. But the force has a responsibility to prevent the fear of crime.
Okay.
And in preventing this fear of crime, we've got to have visible police deployment on the streets. And if you read that IG's directive, it talked about vigorous patrols, both on foot and motorized. It talked about uncompleted buildings. It talked about taking the battle to them, storming the place. Now, that means when the public, as these things have developed, the public now be assured that there is a rejig of the strategy of the police. And so I think what the IG is saying, so it's not just talking about uncompleted buildings. I think it's saying Nigerians have confidence in us. Nigerians talk to us. And those bushes, those forests, how do we get these guys? How do we make the forest uncomfortable for them? And that's what the IG is saying, look, we are going to look at our administration. We are going to reduce those in administration and other duties and concentrate. It's like you have a football team. A team is playing and they say, we have these opponents. What do? We are no longer defending. We go out and even we can reduce the defense and push forward. That means those on guard, those doing routine administration, we say, oh, if there are 3 people, we say, okay, 2 can do it, or 1, and all that. And so, because you cannot have this large force that the IG is talking about without having a lot of personnel being pushed out there. And of course, with the right supervision. So we got here because once this crime...
With the right supervision and weaponry.
The right supervision, the right resources, the right motivation, the right... of course, the right resources. All this, if you invite people to your farm, and you can't give them machete or cutlass or hose or something, and others are farming with tractors, and you are there with a blunt knife. So, of course, the IG, after pushing out these resources, this fight, is going to request that, look, I need support beyond the envelope the National Assembly, the Minister of Finance pegs us. So, I need resources. These are my plans. I am going to storm the forest. I am going to make the forest uncomfortable for these individuals. I'm going to make uncompleted buildings. And I'm going to hold my officers accountable that those who misbehave, we're going to do this. And don't forget, despite all of this, Nigerians must have confidence in the police force and other security agencies. So it is collective. Police, law enforcement, the judiciary, the prisons, everybody has a role, the military. And when we do this, we are going to reverse. We are going to begin to build confidence. Like this was saying about some of the misconduct, why there is this thing. And I think there is a conscious effort by this Inspector General.
All right, we'll go for a break now and hear what Nigerians are saying about the matter on the streets, as brought to us by our correspondent, Abdul Wahab Suleiman. Stay with us.
As a true citizen of Nigeria, what I need to do to security agents to give them accurate information about the position of things in Nigeria, and as well as I have to help myself by making sure every day I get some earlier.
I will not allow anybody to come close to me. As we are, look at people are walking now. If you don't know me and I don't know you, I will not allow you. Even if you say salam alaikum, I will just say wa alaikum salam. Whatever you ask me, I will not answer you.
One should be very, very careful. The people you give information about yourself to is very, very important, because you don't know who is who around now.
As if I don't know you, I don't know where you come from, I will say, please, I don't know you. If you ask you didn't explain anything for me, I will say, please, you can go. That's what I want to do. Or I will call security agency. If I see them, I will say, please, this man, I don't know him. Because if it's something that was happening now, I don't know where is him coming from. You understand?
Security conscious. I think I'll have to stay at home and inform people about wherever I'm going to, and I don't keep late night work.
If you see a movement that you're not convenient or you're not happy with, you can tell your neighbor, you can tell your traditional rulers, your representative in government. Tell them when you see something, say something.
When you see something, say something. There's a lot of consciousness, like AIG and Elego said, welcome back. The program is still Nigeria Today and we're discussing the nationwide security alert. And still with me are my guest, retired AIG Wilson Alego and Dr. Sadiq Hassan Arivi, a security strategy expert. You listen to what Nigerians are saying. It's like everybody is there, up there, conscious, security conscious. How would you react to this? Do you think it's a good sign?
Yes, it's a good sign because over time, I've said it several times in a fora, we're a homogeneous society. We live calmly and peacefully. But this is a new trend in our nations, which is also part of the implications of insecurity, where people now call you, they want to ask you on an information, you refuse to give an attention, simply because you don't know who the person is. But despite all that, yes, it is good to be conscious at every point in time, whereby if you go out, don't keep late. If there's need to keep late, as we said, if you're entering your car, you are driving, you watch who is following you. So if you are getting into your house, you watch. These are part of things you need to be conscious of. But that does not mean that who we are, you cannot take it away from us. Because we are happy people, we are neighborliness, and we try to be
Brothers keepers.
exactly, as brothers keepers. So that should not take you away from doing those responsibility of those who might need a little help from you as an individual where they met you. But the point that, yes, be conscious, be mindful. But if you also look at this, I think it is time for us also to say it as it is. Nigerian police is underfunded. That is one. I've said this several fora. What is the population of Egypt? What is the numbers of police vis-a-vis the population of Nigerians and the numbers of police we have? Police needed a lot of manpower input vis-a-vis equipment and technology and welfare. Because even if you have all the equipment, as AIG has earlier said, that you need to deploy in terms of intelligence, it is human that we use those equipment.
Yes.
It is human that will bring the informations we've gotten outside there and bring it back to analysis laboratory before you take a certain aspect. The government need to know that the police are the frontier of internal security. On this basis, you needed a lot to beef up in terms of to be able to overcome our security challenges. But also, bandits, terrorists, and all that. These are things they do to make sure people are in perpetual fear, even where they are not going to strike. Is to deter you, to take you away from your usual way of life. That is the actions, that is their intentions, to make sure a larger people in a particular environment should be able to not have that motivation piece in operating as usual by being all that. But once in every public places, the check is put in place, security conscious is within us. And also, we must have respect for uniform. Because there's a lot of people on the traffic or on the checkpoint, police will stop you and said, do you have this? Do you have this? And also, sometimes the public does not want to cooperate with the police. But also, police also should not take excessive force into their hand by molesting the individual citizens who are not, yes, exactly. Because people have, that is why also people are now scared of not giving information. That is why I said police need to close the gap. So that by the time you close the gap, you'll be able to see that it's easy for people to give the police information.
AIG, the expectations of many Nigerians on security issues seems to be an illusion. How would you ascertain this?
No, I don't think it's an illusion. It is there for them, and they are getting it really.
Okay.
Yeah, because how would you say? Yes, there are challenges, but I think the security agencies, all of them working in synergy, are doing their best.
Is it possible for any security agency to take control of the situation without the populace panicking?
Let me answer you.
Okay.
I want to tell the public, rest assured, the police working in close collaboration with other agencies the DSS, the military, and other security forces are doing everything. They are not sleeping. That's why they've got to be assured. Arrests have been made. Terrible bandits have been neutralized by the air power. And so, with what you read, unless you want to see the negative side alone, yes, it can be better. It could be better. But in the circumstance, I want to assure the public that the security agencies are working around the clock. What I believe, what the IG has said, is just a tip of the plan. Because you cannot be moving towards an election and you will not have a robust plan. I think, I believe. And
of course, for security reasons, they may not even tell us everything they are doing.
I believe this is just the first phase, but that is why the IG, they didn't say they deploy soldiers. It's routine for police officers to be on patrol on the streets, making contact with the public. Police vehicles on patrol, that's not unusual. That is confidence building. Those are steps to prevent the fear of crime. But like I always want to emphasize, they must work in synergy. Of course, the police has primacy on internal security, but they can't do it alone. And one thing I want to say, the police, I think, the Nigerians should not see their security as an illusion. I think with the work going, very soon it will be easy for you to get into your car, go to Benin or Kaduna, and you are not afraid. But it must be working in close synergy, not just with other security agencies, the police, the judiciary, and the prisons. And these three are very critical. Because if you arrest an armed robber and you can't get a conviction, you can't go. Or if you put him in prison, and the prison can be violated. So these three are critical, and government is going to take a look at these three.
Okay, now Dr. Sadiq.
Yes.
As a security strategic expert.
Yes.
What advice would you give to Nigerians? That is, what exactly are the security agencies now expecting Nigerians to look out for?
Okay, I think before I'll just quickly go there, I differ from AIG.
Okay.
Because security in carrying out at the end result is practical.
Okay.
When there are constants occurring without proactive, the public will lose interest. There's no doubt about it. That is the truth. If I give you a typical example, the recent of jailbreak in Kuche prisons, there were security reports before then, which DSS claimed about 44 reports. Some agency claimed that. And what has happened before the action take place? So that has given lost confidence. This is point one. Now, if you are having insecurity attack that are constant without not being proactive, that is why we said offensive capability. You take it to where they are. This is one aspect. For the Nigerian to believe it is possible, there is also level of step that we have seen how you avert 1, 2, 3. Then you are building the confidence. But despite that, it is possible. It's not that it's not possible. It is possible.
Okay, quickly.
So, if we are now looking at what Nigeria is, what I would say that Nigeria should expect, yes, we should look at it. We are all in it. The agency is within the people. It is us. They are only deployed at, you are on this other side, we are on this other side. But creating a synergy, making sure you give the right information at the right time, then that will be able to help for preventing, and it will go a long way. But we should all have it in mind that these things, it is possible and it is doable.
All right. Thank you. That's the much we can take on the episode today on the program.
No right of reply. I would have loved to... quickly. You see, if God can open your eyes to see the number of attacks that the security forces have prevented, I can tell you that Kuje has been... There are reports. That's not in doubt. But that occurred, it's not to say that efforts were not made. that there were no offensive this thing, but there are times. That is why even in police exams, 60 is not even a good pass mark, because people expect that it has to be 100%. Yes. But that is not to say. I think we've got to acknowledge that a lot of effort and planning is going into this, and all that the IG has said, they are quite proactive. So the public should have confidence.
All right, thank you. Security matters are paramount to the sustenance of any nation. The current security situation in Nigeria is a concern for all. So let's all put our hands on deck and work together, like they said, with our security agencies. Retired AIG Wilson Aligo and Dr. Sadiq Hassan Arifi, security strategy expert. Thank you for your contributions. We really appreciate your insight. It's been worthwhile. And to our viewers, thank you for being a part of the program. Remember, you can still watch this episode and other ones on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Till I come your way again, I am Lydia Odijochi. Good evening and goodbye.